In this video, I'm going to cover the content of organizational structures, which is part of GCSE Business AQA. So what is an organizational structure? An organizational structure is how a business will organize their staff to represent the different levels of management. It can be displayed in the form of a chart, and there are two main types of organizational structures: hierarchical and flat. What is a hierarchical structure? So a hierarchical structure is also known as a tall structure. A hierarchical structure will have many layers of management. Now, businesses with this structure will have a top-down approach with a long chain of command. And the managers will have a narrow span of control, and they will have a smaller number of subordinates. And a flat structure has few layers of management. The managers will have a wide span of control with more subordinates. They will have a short chain of command, and they are usually used in smaller businesses. Now, here are some key terms in relation to organizational structures. So, span of control. Span of control is the number of staff that the manager will have responsibility for. Chain of command is the way that the instructions and communications will flow from top to bottom of the business. Delayering is a process where a business will remove the layers of its management to make their structure more flat. Delegation is where tasks are given to staff, and subordinates are the members of staff that are below the manager. Centralized management structure. A centralized management is where the business decisions are made from the top of the business and then distributed to the rest of the chain of command. Businesses that have a centralized management can often be slow to respond to any changes that are in the business environment or any local changes. The advantages of a centralized management is there's consistency across the business. The business will have a clear direction. The operations and decisions are closely monitored and managed, and the chain of command and the accountability is a lot more clearer. However, the disadvantages of centralized management is it can demotivate employees. The standardized approach may not work in all businesses, and it can lower productivity. A decentralized management structure. This is where decisions are made by the manager and the subordinates. It gives the staff more decision-making responsibilities, and businesses with decentralized management structure can respond quickly to changes in the business environment and locally. What's the advantages of a decentralized management structure? It improves employee motivation. It allows the managers to make decisions that will suit their customers and their target market, and there's more responsibility for employees. However, what are the disadvantages of decentralized management? Consistency may not be achieved across the business. Managers can make ineffective decisions, and sales and profits may be affected due to ineffective decisions. What's the impact of communication and efficiency? What's the impact of communication of efficiency and motivation? So the type of organizational structure and management approach that the businesses use will have an impact on the communication of the business. As a business grows, maintaining the effective level of communication becomes a lot more harder. Communication in a business can be done through email, apps, letters, reports, phone calls, conferencing, face-to-face meetings. And when communication is not done well, it will have a negative effect on performance. Ineffective communication falls into two categories: insufficient and excessive. Now, insufficient communication means that there is poor communication, and it will mean that it will negatively impact motivation and efficiency, as employees will not know what is required of them or what is going on in the business, and it will cause unproductivity in the business. Excessive communication is where there is an overload of communication. So employees may receive too much information or the same information again and again. And that can make the employees feel confused and stressed. What are the barriers to effective communication? So a barrier to communication is something that's stopping the communication from going through or makes the communication less effective. If the communication is not received by employees or if it's not understood properly, it will cause more mistakes, and it can also cause the customers to be confused as well. The barriers to effective communication would be if there's poor explanations, there's poor spelling and grammar, there's a lack of understanding, use of slang, incorrect language, technology issues, and poor structuring of information. What are full-time workers? Now, full-time workers is an employee that works more than 15 hours a week. Full-time employees will usually work in all job roles. For example, teachers, pilots, nurses, and doctors. Part-time workers refer to an employee that only works part of the week, so less than full-time. And part-time workers are usually found in the retail industry. Flexible hours and zero-hour contracts. Flexible hours is when employees are given a set number of hours to work within a week, but they get to decide when they work. Flexible hours can either be full-time or part-time workers. Flexible hours can lead to higher retention and better productivity. And flexible hours are given in the form of zero-hour contracts. So this is when they are given work when the business decides that they need them. However, they will not know when they're going to get work. Permanent contracts. A permanent contract has no fixed end date. The employee will stay within the business until they decide to leave or when the job role no longer exists. Temporary contracts. A temporary contract will have a specific date and the worker is employed for only a certain period of time. They are common within retail industry and industries that where the demand is seasonal. Freelance contractors. A freelance contract is where a self-employed individual is engaged to carry out work over a specific period. Freelance is usually common in the creative industry. Increased efficiency. Increased efficiency is when a business is able to produce and provide their services quicker. Technology has improved the efficiency of communication in businesses. Messages can be sent quickly to a lot of people without there being a barrier to communication. Remote working. Remote working is where employees are working from home or from a different environment, which means that employees will have a lot more flexibility. However, they may not work as hard and they will not get the help that they require easily. Hopefully this video helps you understand organizational structures. If you like this video, then give it a like and subscribe to my channel. If you want constant updates on videos and resources, then follow my Instagram. If you want short business revision clips, then follow my TikTok. And if you want the PowerPoint to this video, then you can go to my test shop, which is all available down below in the description.